All right. I'm impromptu tonight. I'm coming back at 9. So this is not in place of the 9 o'clock. We're still on for 9 tonight. But I had some things I wanted to chat with you about for those of you who are on the debt-free journey, right? So for those of you who are joining me, thank you so much for doing so. But for you new folks around here, my name's Shakema. I'm a single mom. I have 4 children. I have 2 girls, Shamika and Alana, and I have 2 boys, Trandon and Jackson. My children are 33, 27, 20, and 14. And everybody turns another year this year. So sister's already turned 20. Shamika will be 34 this month, and the boys will be 28 and 15 next month. So I have 3 adult children and 1 that is under adult age. He'll be 15. But when I started my channel, I was just coming off of a divorce. I was heavy in debt. Hey, ma'am, how are you? I had been left with the debt and all of that, and literally left with it. He just exited stage left, and I was left with the debt and the children and all the things. And so we spent a lot of time working towards debt freedom. It was important to me to make sure, hey, Kim, it was important to me to make sure that my children had a legacy that was not bill collecting, owing people, borrowing more than they could pay back, just living in that constant cycle of never having enough. So I spent a lot of years working towards my debt freedom. Now, some people experience it miraculously. It was not my testimony. I actually had to work my way through the debt freedom. And we started a program called Financial Peace University when Jackson was a year old. I had miraculously gotten the $100 to join the group. It was at my church. And so we joined. I joined. I always say we because I always think marriage. I always think if I identify as me, it'll be hard to include somebody in my life. So I've been we forever. It's just a thing. So it was important to me to get out of debt. Well, along that journey, the Lord said, Shakema, I want you to, hey, ma'am, good to see you. Shakema, I want you to share the journey. He said, I want you to tell people that if I can do it for you, I can do it for them. And so that's how the YouTube channel was started, was born and all that. So my children and I worked, they were along for the journey. I worked for like 6, 7, 8 years, a lot of years to pay off my debt, chunk it, lots of money, all my tax money, all my, extra money that I would get here and there. And I just began to get what Dave calls gazelle intense about paying off my debt. 2019, we became totally debt free. So I got divorced in 2010. My ex-husband left in 2009. Jackson was 4 months old. My divorce was final in September of 2010. Hey, everybody. Good to see everybody. Oh, perfect. Great. Glad to have you. Any which way we can get you. And so then 2019, we became debt free. Immediately upon getting debt free, sister was having some pain and we needed to go and have an ultrasound done. Well, we had to have the ultrasound done. That was another $500-$600. So now we were back in debt. Well, I had enough money that I could pay it off, but we were, sources depleted, all of that. It was over. And it was like, oh man. Okay. So then you just get back on the journey, right? You just keep doing the budgets. You keep saving, you keep working the day job, you keep doing all the things. 2020, the pandemic hit. My car started to act up and I needed a car immediately. It was really, really, really bad. Well, we had gotten the stimulus, all that, and I had saved that money. I had not gone out and done frivolous things. My car was $12,800. I borrowed from the credit union $12,800. And within 63 days, I was able to pay off that debt with using my stimulus money and some other big chunks of money that just came in all of a sudden in those moments. So that was paid, but you're still back to zero, right? So you keep going along, you're doing the best you can, you save here, you save there. Last year, 2023, I decided to do the 52-week envelope challenge, which for every week you would put in a certain amount of money that was on your envelope and you would save $1,378. Did all of that, took that money, paid for our trip to California. My daughter's getting married in May. And so the kids and I are flying out to California for her wedding. My other son is coming from Texas, but he is going to be able to do that on his own. He's flying himself. Grown people fly themselves. I'm just taking the little kids, what I call the little kids. And doing real well. This year in 2024, I decided that I was going to save $15,000. And I was going to do that in two ways. I was going to do my Black Queen, right? So y'all know I have my Black Queen envelopes. If anybody's interested in these envelopes, they come from an Etsy shop called Conversation. There is a link in all of my videos. There's a link in my bio on Instagram, and it's also pinned on my page on Facebook. So Sean has this challenge envelopes. There's a $5 challenge, which saves you $300. There's a $10 challenge that saves you $600. There's a $20 challenge that saves you $1,200. And I actually did this one last year as well. This is how I helped sister pay for her car. I paid her just a little portion. Her dad paid a little portion, and she saved up the majority. This one is the $50 challenge that helps you save $3,000. And then we have the $100 challenge that helps you save $6,000. So I had determined in my mind this year that I was going to do the $50 challenge and I was going to do the $100 challenge. And I've been doing those. And I was doing the $100 envelope challenge. Now that challenge is meant to be, if you do it the way that the challenge is meant to be done, you'll save $5,000 in 100 days. But that's not my testimony. So I stuff my money whenever I have it, and I plan to be done by the end of the year. So that's $5,050. This one would be another $6,000. So that would be $11,050. This one would give me $3,000. So that would give me $14,050. So I would be like $1,000 short, $950 short of $15,000. So that was my plan for saving up my money so that I would have my 3 to 6 month savings in place. A part of the Dave Ramsey challenge, let me see, I think it's baby step number 3, is you save 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in case anything were to happen. Accident, death in your family, something radical that would keep you from going to work, making your income. So that is what that baby step is for. So I didn't think I could save, I saved the $1,200 for sister and I saved the $1,300. So that's like $2,500, a little bit. I didn't think I can do that. I'd never saved that much money on my own without it being tax money or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I haven't gotten taxes back in so long. Well, here I am on this journey, and every week I'm stuffing these envelopes and I'm putting my money in. I didn't bring the other envelope out, but I'm putting my money in, and it's growing. Well, you all remember about 3 weeks ago, Jackson came home very sick one day, and we couldn't tell what was going on. Jackson hardly ever gets sick. The asthma is the thing that bothers him the most. And he had not had an asthma attack in 2 years. He had not had an asthma flare in close to 2 years. And so that they released us from allergies. They released us from the weekly allergy shots, all that. And then we were on a good track. Well, he came home one day from school and I knew he was sick. I was like, okay, what is going on here? Couple days, he didn't go to school. We went to the doctor. She ran a few tests. She said, well, Shakema, I think it's bacterial. It's probably just a virus. He'll be okay. Don't worry. If it gets worse, call me. So the weekend comes. He's out of school. He was out of school Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that was 5 days. Monday morning, he goes back to school. Before 8 a.m., he's calling me. Mom, I don't feel well. Something's wrong. So I call his doctor. I go pick him up. I call his doctor. Yes, ma'am, I will. And I'll just say this, because people look at it now and they go, oh, Shakema, you have money, you can save. But I was in that same situation. I had what I had. The only money I could save was grocery money for a long time. I didn't do sinking funds for 10 years. So I know exactly. And God makes a way every single time. So Monday, I called the doctor and I said, doctor, he's not well. Something is just not right. I am not sure. We need to come back in. And she said he was clammy. He was cold to the touch. I felt his face. I said, what did you put on your face? He said, I didn't put anything on it, Mom. That's sweat. And I mean, he was just not right. So I called the doctor and she said, you know what, Shakema, just take him to the emergency room. I think that's going to be better than you bringing him to the office. Now, when she said that, I knew in my mind, I try to stay away from the emergency room because the emergency room is going to cost you a lot of money. If I take him to the doctor, it costs me at most $10. If I take him to the emergency room, it is going to, at a minimum, cost me $1,000 out of pocket just because we have to meet our deductible. And our deductible is $1,250 per person before the insurance will kick in with their 80%. And then we still have to pay an additional 20%, no matter what procedure we do, where we go. So knowing we had taken him, I took him, he tested positive for the flu. He was out of school for another 5 days, plus the weekend. So another 7 days. So that put us at a total of 11 days out. And he was very sick. And so taking him, I knew that I was going to be facing some bills. So the other day I was just in here and I got a random text message that said, hey, you can pay your bill via this link. So I called because I don't click on no links. Listen, if you send me something in my inbox, in my email, I don't click on links of any kind because people out here doing crazy stuff and that is how they do it. So Shakema, don't click on your links. Don't send them because it's just a waste of your time because I'm not going to click on it. Not because I don't want to. It's just because people do stuff and they hack your accounts when you start clicking on stuff. I just don't click on nothing. So I called the place and they were like, what's your name? I tell them my name. They're like, oh, I don't see anything for you here. And I was like, well, I haven't been to the doctor. I haven't had any, work. I haven't had anything done. I should be good. And she was like, well, maybe is there anybody else that might be attached to your number? So she looked it up. She says, oh, Jackson, because he had a chest x-ray at the emergency room. So I paid that little bill. It was not a lot of money. It was just a few dollars. And I went to the mailbox yesterday. Very rare for me to go to the mailbox because I don't have bills that come in the mail. I pay all my bills online and I don't have bill collectors that I'm hiding from. So I answer my phone. So it's not like I'm, hiding from anybody, but I go to the mailbox and I see the hospital and I already know I'm planning on $1,000. Okay, I got this. No problem. I open up the bill. The hospital bill itself was $3,500 for a 4-hour stay in the ER. This is the state that we're in right now. And we have insurance. I have private insurance that I get through my job. I carry the children on my insurance, which is why Dad has to pay a little bit more than what maybe would be normal because I carry all the insurance, life, health, eyes, teeth, all that. Anything that can be insured, I carry. And so the bill itself was $3,500. My part of that was $1,590.44. And here I am thinking, okay, Lord, what am I going to do? So I have two options, right? Option number one is make payments on this bill and just pay it down as I'm able. because I'm debt free and I have been for so long, that option just doesn't make my baby jump. It's just like, I can't. I'm not here for that. The second option would be to put it on my credit card and pay the credit card, but that's going to incur interest. So that's out. The third option is to take the money out of Jackson's savings account. I've been saving money for Jackson for years now. He has money in his savings account, enough to cover this bill plus some. He has got more money in his savings account than I have in my account because I've been saving up for him. Somewhere in my mama heart, that just didn't seem like the right thing to do. My plan was to pull the money out, pay the bill so I don't have a bill, and then refund him the money slowly like I was paying him back. But again, in my mama heart, it just didn't seem like the right thing to do. It didn't seem appropriate that I would pull the money out that I've been saving for him to go off and have his life to pay this bill. Even though it was an unexpected thing, it could cover it and I could put the money back over time. I don't doubt that by any means. I could put it in very quickly. And I started thinking about it and I was like, you know what, God, you're going to just have to help me, because here I am trying to make this decision that's going to be best for my family. And I don't want to make a bad decision because people follow me. And when I start talking about finances and I mention this, you have the people who think they know what's best for my life, even though they don't pay a bill over here, but they have their opinions. And when you put your life on social media, it is what it is. It is what it is. I get it. So I was like, okay, God, I don't feel right with that. It's a good option. If I didn't have another option, it would have worked out perfectly. But I said to myself, Shakema, you have $1,500 in your $6,000 envelope. You've been saving for your 3 to 6 months challenge. You could take that money out and pay the bill. And so I made the hard decision this morning to pull out the $1,500. I had $1,500 in here, and put it into the bank and just made the payment using my debit card. So now I'm starting fresh on my $6,000 challenge. And I know that a lot of people have said, well, I try to save and then things come up and I have to end up spending the money. It was not in my thought process, not in anywhere in my mind to take my money I've been saving to pay anything, to buy anything. But this was a bill that I couldn't see carrying out all year long, when I could make a wise decision to go ahead and grab it up now, pay it. It's done. No interest, no late payments, no anything. Used to be, before the hospital got bought out, if you paid in full, they would give you a 25% discount. That would have saved me at least $360. That would save me at least $480, something like that, which would have brought that bill down to just about the $1,100 mark, which would have made it easier to swallow. But then the hospital got sold, and so they don't do the pay it all discount at all anymore. But I couldn't see with where I am now. It's one of the things about going on a debt-free journey. You have to make those challenging decisions that are going to be the best decision for your family. Carrying debt is not best for me. It gives me pressure, undue stress that I just don't need to have. And so knowing that I had the money, $1,500 I had already saved in here, that was perfect. And I would have had $1,700 in here, but I gave $200 away when I found out that someone had a need. And I took the extra $200 from my grocery money and gave it to that need instead of putting it in this envelope. Saying all that, we still had enough to cover the $1,590.44 using just this envelope. So now I'm going to wipe this off. I'm starting fresh with this envelope. And for a minute, I was like, Lord, all my money is gone. He was like, no, Shakema, go to your $50 envelope. Because in this envelope, I've got $400. So I've got $400 in this one, and I have money in my $100 envelope. I'm not close to the 15,000, but there is not one doubt in my mind that I'm gonna get it. I know, I believe that I am going to get it. And Yolanda said, the Lord will bless you for your loyalty as a mom and your faithfulness. I believe that. I just couldn't see doing all of that for my son and having to take the money out to pay for a hospital bill he didn't ask for. But I knew as a mom he was sick and he needed to go. Now, before I finish up this video, because this is just kind of an update, but I wanted to say this. I still have my baby step number one, which is $1,000 in my emergency fund. I have that. We always keep that. It's no problem. We keep that running. In addition to that, money comes in here and there. I've had a ton of new subscribers, new followers, just on different social media platforms. And people are now coming into my email asking for reviews. And I've made a decision in my life that I'm not going to sell myself cheap anymore by just doing free reviews. You paying everybody else, you can pay me or not. It's your choice. I don't have to do your video. That's more time for me to do stuff I want to do. But if that is what, we agree to, and I can get a sponsorship deal, then I'm going to work a sponsorship deal, because if I get a certain amount of sponsorship deals for the year, that can put the money right back. You see what I'm saying? So as tough, it was a challenge. I won't even lie and say it wasn't a challenge to pull that money out. But it wasn't even a second thought. It was like, you know what? Let's just do it, because then that pressure is off. So those of us who are getting tax money back, because, folks have got put in taxes and we starting to get money back. Now's the time to make those decisions. What can you get off your plate so you're not feeling the stress and the pressure, the anxiety, and all of that after your spending spree is over and your thrill is gone? Because it's like toys on Christmas. They play with them, they break them up, and the next thing you know, you still paying for Christmas a year later, and they done broke up them toys the first day. So that's what getting a lot of lump sum of money is like. We take the money, we then spend it all, and then what? We don't have anything to show for it, and we have not gotten anything off of our plate. We're still under the pressure of all of the things we still have to pay, still have to do. So I'm at a point, March the 11th, 2024, every bill is paid. I have gas money. I have grocery money. I have my emergency fund. All of that is in the bank. I don't keep any of that in the house, but I have my gas and grocery money. I've sent that, that $1,500 is gone. That money is out, is no more here. So I'm starting over. But when I'm starting over, I'm not starting with the pressure and the stress. And I know that if I work hard enough, and it's not even work hard enough, it's if I believe the Lord and I've been faithful with what he's given me in my hands, then God's going to give me more in my hands. So I'm not at a stress level, oh man, the money is gone. Honestly, really, if I say this, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or make it sound like I'm something more than I'm not. But I'm really like my oldest son. Money doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not a money person that, I just got to have the money. I understand that money is necessary for life and for living, and I have to pay my bills and I got to feed my kid. I understand that part. But I never asked the Lord to give me money to make me rich. I always ask God to give me seed so that I could sow. So if he sends money, more times than not, I'm finding somewhere that I can give or, be a blessing to other people, because I am from the experience with God that no need has ever gone unmet. I can't remember one time in my life where I've been hungry or starving. I've never been starving in my life. Y'all saw me up to 80 pounds ago. I was 200 and some odd pounds. I've never been starving. I've had times where there hasn't been much to eat, or maybe things I didn't want to eat, but I always ate. And so I don't sit over here and try to hoard up money just to have it. I am not that person. But there are goals that we have. And I want to make sure that I make those goals because I'm trying to leave a legacy for my children. Alana is on her game. She is trying, thinking about getting a second job. And so she's at that point now where she can do that because she's trying to stack so that when she's ready to move out, she's going to probably put down a down payment on a house and not have to worry about renting anything at 22, 3 years old. That's oh, thank you so much. I appreciate. And so that's just one of the things that we deal with. We had another situation that popped up today, but we got it fixed. We got a letter from the DMV telling Alana that her insurance had lapsed on her car. Well, I knew that wasn't true because she's on my insurance, and my insurance does not lapse. We pay by the 6 months. You can go back and look up all you want from all these years we've been paying it. We don't lapse nothing. Well, what had happened was when we purchased a car from the elderly granny lady, we had to do a title transfer, and we had to turn in her old tags so we can get our new tags. Well, they wouldn't even let us do any of that until they were assured that we had insurance on the car. So we did all of that while we were at the DMV, but they forgot to do something in their computer because they were getting ready to take her tags for 30 days. And I'm like, wait a minute now, let me call somebody because this ain't what it is. And then she was going to have to pay a civil penalty. I'm like, nope, we good. So I called today and I was able to get that taken care of. But one of the things that might have been a fear for me before was not knowing how to handle all that business and then not having the money to pay what I needed to pay. But when you work on your debt, when you become totally debt free, when you're able to tell your money where it can go and not have your money tell you where it's going, then you have more power than you had before. And that's where I live at this stage of the game. Do I have all the money in the world? I don't. Am I taken care of every day? Are my needs met? The bills are paid. We got gas. We got groceries. And guess what? 2 more days, I'm going to get to go to the grocery store again. I love going to the grocery store. It makes me feel great. But what I'm saying is, even though I had to come up off that big chunk today, I am very okay with where the Lord has me mentally with my mindset about money. I'm not stressing. I'm going to keep trusting. I believe God is going to take care of us. And just like I saved the $1,500 in what we on 8 weeks, 9 weeks of the year, I can save it again in 9 more weeks if that's the Lord's will for me. So very good, Miss Rose. And all of you that are on your debt-free journey, keep going. Again, we talked about comparison the other night in our 9 o'clock study. Don't look at my life and go, oh, Shakema's got it all going on over there. I can't never do it. I never thought I could do it either. But I buckled down, got serious about getting this debt off of me. Hey, y'all. And I just needed to get it done. And I did it. And now I'm able to, whatever comes in now can be extra on top. We have a house project that's coming in the next couple of weeks. So those of you who follow the house journey, just, be mindful because the Lord blessed us in another way where we're going to be able to do a house project that I've been trying to do for quite a long while now and have not been able to do it just for one reason or another. But it is going to be done and we're going to bring you along for that. And it's all paid for. Oh, nice. Oh, that is so good. Praise the Lord. I'm telling you, people like, don't you want a bigger house for me to have to clean? Child, let me tell you something. Let's Miss Lucy coming every other week, child. I don't know. I am straight. Because I've often thought after my children leave, I would downsize to kind of a tiny house or a townhouse or something where I didn't have any yard work. I didn't have any of the upkeep of all the things. So very excellent plan. But Anywho, I wanted to do that budget update because that was a big significant thing in my life. And I know people have been following the savings journey. I've been sharing the reels, and I don't want, when I start over, people to go like, well, what happened to all your money? I thought you know, I'm telling you, oh, 3 acres and a pond. Oh, my child. No, Lord. Oh, Jesus. But I didn't want um, anybody to think, oh man, she's not telling us the truth. She hasn't been saving all of that. Oh, I've been saving. And here's what I did extra, because I never do this. And I gotta go because I gotta prep for tonight. I never do this. But the Lord said, you have not because you ask not. And I heard him clearly say that. So I texted his dad and I said, hey, listen, this is where I am. This is what I had to do. Are you able to help me out at all with this? I didn't count on a $1,600 bill. He called me. He said, hey, listen, I'm just not able to help right now. You know what? It wasn't even any sweat. I just asked, because if you put it out there, you never know. He might have been able to jump in with something, but he wasn't, and it was fine. I had it here to do. It's done, and now we just starting back over from scratch, and it's no problem. We're still going to be able to go to California. I'm still going to be able to do what I need to do with my children for that, and we're going to be great. And by the end of the year, whatever I'm able to save, I still have my goal of $15,000 for that 3 to 6 months. That goes into the account. That is the emergency fund that if something were to happen, hey, we're there. We got what we need to take care of the issues and the things. Now, I don't intentionally spend money out of those envelopes. It's not something that I would do just because. But I was not going to run with a bill for 60, 90, 120, 180 days trying to pay it off piecemeal when I could just pull the money here and be done with it. I don't need to be on your payment plan if I have the money. Now, for some people, that might be the way you work on your credit. It's not how I work on my credit, but hey, I just pay it up front and we straight. So anywho, y'all, I just wanted to share that very, very quickly because, again, I like to be in integrity. I like to share what I'm able to share. And when I start back over, with the challenge, I don't want anybody to be asking, well, what happened to your money? That's what it was. It was Jackson was very sick, and I would do it again. I would take Alana. The other day I had to take the dog. I got the dog. She needs stuff. You got to just take her. $255 later. Hey, that could have been an extra $255 in the account. But guess what? You have these responsibilities, and that's what life brings you. And, it gives you lemons, you make lemonade, and I'm a good lemonade maker. So I'm over here telling you that I'm not down about it. The bill is paid. I'm so happy the bill is paid. I don't even know what to do, but I don't want to be acting out on this here thing for y'all think I'm weird. But I'm very good and thankful. And prayerful, and he is much better. Jackson is much better. His lungs are good. He doesn't sound any type of way in here. And so I'm very thankful because it could have been very bad. We have had stays in the hospital. Jackson has had asthma attack every Christmas from the time he was born until he was 13 years old. So every year around the December time, he has been in an asthma flare. He was even in the hospital several times because of his asthma. And so I am very thankful that we could go and do all the things because I wasn't sure if he was in pneumonia or if it was COVID or whatever it was. I just didn't want to take a chance with my son's health. And if his health is worth the $1,600, then hey, listen, I'll pay it. We're good. Anywho, I got to jump in to get my lesson pulled for tonight. I will be back tonight at 9 p.m. Y'all gonna get that grocery haul tomorrow. It was from last week, but you're going to get it tomorrow and then another one on Thursday. I promise I'm finished filming it. Now I just got to finish editing it. But anywho, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Like the video, share, do all the things. Helps us get out into the algorithm. We love you so much, and we will see you guys later. Okay, bye, y'all.